So now let's continue with a very delightful topic. We will speak about Maharishi AyurVeda Aroma Therapy. I want to ask Andrea Castillo, the head of the department, to give us a short overview of the courses which we offer from the Maharishi College of Perfect Health International. Please, Andrea.
Thank you, Dr. Milk. Hello, everyone. It's a joy to be here talking to you about Maharishi Aromatherapy today and why this is a very important modality of Maharishi Ayurveda and the importance of it to restore and maintain balance in our physiology and in our overall health. And at this point, I would like to share my screen and share with you a short presentation. So, Maharishi Ayurveda Aromatherapy. There are many phases to this. It's based on Maharishi Ayurveda. It's based on aromas, and it's a therapy. So it's the use of aromas as a therapy based on the principles of Maharishi Ayurveda. And therefore, it's based on the principle that perfect health and balance is achieved through balancing the doshas in our physiology. So this is the basis of Maharishi Aromatherapy and why it's unique. And one of the reasons why it's unique is because the sense of smell is unique, and I will explain why, but also because it's based on Maharishi Ayurveda. And the reason why the sense of smell is unique, one of the reasons why it is because the aromatic molecules, they are transmitted directly to the limbic system and without any interference of processing via the cerebral cortex. And the limbic system is right at the center of our brain, and I will show you in a few minutes how. And it regulates the autonomic nervous system, which controls automatic functions in our physiology like breathing, heartbeat, digestion. So we don't have to tell ourselves to breathe or how to breathe or tell our heart to beat. This is done automatically by the autonomic nervous system, and the limbic system regulates this. And it also regulates our emotions and therefore our psychology and our memory and level of motivation and even creativity. And therefore, it's very important that we have some kind of therapy that will enliven the homeostasis of our whole physiology through the limbic system. The sense of smell, it happens through 10 million nerve cells that are in the roof of the nasal cavity. I will show you a picture of how this happens. Through 80 million fine filaments of the olfactory nerves, which receive an enormous amount of information. So this is the limbic system, and you can see here this whole structure in purple and yellow and red and blue. And it sits right here at the center of our brain. And now we see someone smelling an aroma through a bottle of essential oil, and how this is transmitted to the brain through the filaments, those 80 million filaments that I mentioned. And the olfactory bulb then transmits this directly to the limbic system, which is right in our brain, which crosses the blood-brain barrier, which is a system that protects the brain. But in this case, the effect will be felt immediately without any obstacle by the limbic system in the brain, and therefore influence our whole physiology, psychology, mind, and even can have an effect in the spiritual aspect of our lives. So on all levels of life. Scents will stimulate the release of neurotransmitters, which are very important substances for many biochemical reactions in our physiology. And you may have heard of endorphins and serotonin and encephalines. They are called the bliss hormones. They generate feelings of well-being and happiness. And this is how an aroma can influence our whole psychology as well, not only our physiology, but our psychology. And this will, through this chain of events and of effects of the experiencing the fragrance, essential oils will enliven the self-healing mechanisms in our body, and they are effective to neutralize free radicals, which we know cause diseases. They can improve our vitality and life energy. Some oils are known to be energizing. And because the chemical composition of essential oils is that they're very small molecules, they also penetrate very deeply into the cells of our body. So in talking about how powerful essential oils are and the kind of effect that they have in our physiology and psychology, which is something that we start learning early on in the courses that we offer. Already in the foundation course, which is the first course that we take, we explain the whole way through which essential oils affect us, which you have seen a summary of. And we also talk about considering the effects that the essential oils have, how important it is that they are pure and of the highest quality. So they should be free from pesticides and herbicides, but also synthetic chemicals that can be added to them, adulterating the essential oils. And this too, we learn on the foundation course. And throughout our courses, we emphasize this as well, but already right at the beginning, we start learning about the importance of the purity and of using only 100% natural from reputable sources, and also that go through a proper distillation process so that their chemical compounds are preserved and therefore the right therapeutic effect is achieved. So it's very important that we only buy the highest quality essential oils and only use the highest quality essential oils that are not adulterated. And we also learn already on the foundation course, but also throughout the phases of training as consultants during the phase 1 and the phase 2 of the training as consultants, we learn to identify essential oils by their botanical names and by their chemotypes, which are different varieties of the same essential oil, and the plant parts used. This is very important because different plant parts can even have different effects. And also essential oils should not be blended with other oils or other chemicals or aromatic chemicals. So they should not be adulterated so that we can have the proper therapeutic effect. And this we learn on the foundation course, and on the phase 1 of the consultant training course, we go more deeply into the chemical compositions of essential oils and their therapeutic effects, and also safe use of different essential oils with different chemical compositions. And the reason why the purity of essential oils is important and why we need to know their chemical composition is because adulteration is a widespread practice. And therefore, we need to know how to recognize when an essential oil is pure and have the correct effect. And adulterated oils have no therapeutic value, so it's very important that we know about this. Now, different chemical compounds will have different effects, and therefore we need to have a basis of the chemical compounds of essential oils, which we learn. We start to learn about this during the foundation course and more in depth, as I said, in the phase 1 of the consultant training course, because different chemical compounds will have different effects on the physical level, on the psychological level, and on the mental level, and even on the spiritual level. And therefore, learning about the chemistry of essential oils is very important, not only to learn about their effects, but also how to use them safely, because different chemical compounds have different properties and different requirements. And just to give you an idea, more than 3,000 aromatic compounds have been identified so far. We learn the basics, the most important families of chemical compounds. We go more deeply into that in the phase 1. And there are intricate relationships between the many different compounds, and this is still being researched, it's not completely understood. But by learning the families of compounds, then we learn about their specific therapeutic effects. So this is just an idea of the different families of chemical compounds that we learn about, such as monoterpene ketones, ethers, coumarines, esters, sesquiterpenols, monoterpenes, oxides. These are all the different families of chemical compounds that we learn about. We learn how to use each type safely. We learn different methods of application, dosage, times of day. All these things are important when we are applying essential oils in a therapeutic way. And the result of all this is that if we experience any imbalance in our physiology or psychology, essential oils can be used to restore order and balance or homeostasis in our physiology and psychology. And just to give you an idea of different things that I have mentioned, for example, if you know the botanical name of an essential oil, and then you know to which family of chemical compounds the essential oil belongs to, then you have an idea of how to use them and how safe they are, and even what kinds of precautions to take when using the essential oil. So in this case that I am giving you as an example, we have essential oil of thyme, which has different kinds of chemotypes or varieties, and therefore we need to learn about the different varieties. So in this case, Thymus vulgaris chemotype 2-enol is a variety of thyme, which, like all the varieties of thyme, has important anti-infectious properties, but at the same time has a stimulating and regenerative effect on the liver cells. And this is not necessarily the case for all types of thyme, and it's safe to use. We also learn, especially during the foundation course, we learn about different methods of extraction, for example, distillation, which is the most common method used. Most essential oils we use are distilled, and this is done with an equipment whose diagram you can see here is called an alembic. And it's very important that the distillation process is carried out properly, which further emphasizes the need to use essential oils from reputable sources so that all those chemical compounds are properly expressed. Another method is cold expression, which is mostly used for citrus fruits. So in this picture, you see citrus fruits being cold pressed to produce essential oils. Another method is solvent extraction, used especially for very delicate flowers like jasmine, champaka, tuberose. When you use the flower and their yield is not very high, or they're very delicate flowers, and distillation is not an appropriate method. And there are other methods that we learn about, and each method will have certain consequences, so we have to learn how to use them properly according to the type of extraction as well. We also learn, and mostly we'll learn about hydrolates in the phase 2 of the consultant training course. And we will learn about hydrolates, which are a byproduct of steam distillation of essential oils. They have a more gentle action than the essential oils themselves, but at the same time, they're very powerful in terms of their therapeutic value. And we touch a little bit on this during the foundation course, but we go more deeply into it in the phase 2 of the consultant training course. So each one of these courses has a duration of 6 weeks, if we have 3 sections a week. Each of them has a specific focus, drawing more and more knowledge of essential oils and teaching how to use them safely, dosage, time of day, and according to the desired effect, and how to use more than one essential oil at a time. All these details that you need to learn how to use them safely, but also to produce the effect that you want. So you wouldn't use, for example, an energizing oil in the evening. You would use a calming and even sedating oil in the evening to help with sleep, for example, with a good night's sleep. And through each phase, you will receive more information to train you as a consultant. And finally, you will be able to give consultations to the general public through a very specific method that we teach. And with this method, we learn how to balance the doshas and thereby bring a state of balance in health in the physiology.
Thank you, Andrea. This was really a brilliant overview and a good summary of these courses. So we plan the next courses will be probably this year, another consultation course, phase 1 and phase 2, and also maybe the end of the year as a foundation course.
Yes. So the cycle is we start with the foundation course, 6 weeks, and then we move on to the phase 1 of the consultant training course, and then the phase 2 of the consultant training course. And then you will be fully certified as a consultant.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think this gives a good impression, and is one of the precious aspects of Maharishi Ayurveda, using the sense of smell, not only the sense of smell, but also the sense of touch, and also you inhale it, and also you ingest it. So it has from various aspects, using to the different channels to enliven the inner intelligence of the body. Thank you very much.